NitroRCX.com. Extreme has no limits.
Hey guys, welcome to NitroRCX.com. Today we're looking at a new Exceed RC boat. Specifically, it's a Class 1 offshore powerboat. Powerboat racing, always exciting to watch when the series is on. High action, high speeds, and most of all, beautiful looking boats. And Exceed RC's representation of one of those boats is rather fantastic. This is a huge boat. This is a gas powered boat. It's ready or almost ready to run out of the box. You're only missing the radio system and then you're good to go. Basically, drop in your radio system, drop in your battery to power the electronics that are already installed, such as these servos. Let's give you guys a size measurement and give you guys an overall length of this boat. So from bow to stern, you're looking at about 53 inches. So this is a 53 footer. It is a catamaran style boat and it's finished in a gel coat. Construction of the hull is of fiberglass and you have balsa wood supports all throughout to give it some structural rigidity. Notice the rear view mirrors on that hatch. You also have your supercharger intake on the top. Also have other intakes on the side right here. And notice these aluminum exhausts on the back of that boat. You have some aluminum quick release tabs to release that. We'll show you guys how that works in a second. On the side right here, you have your water cooling exit. On the back right here, this beautiful piece right here is the exhaust for that gas powered motor. It is a 26cc. Huge aluminum rudder for steering authority. Notice the quad water pickups. You actually have 2 water pickups to cool the engine. You have your adjustable propeller shaft and notice the grease in there to keep it nice and waterproof and rust proof. And you have that huge aluminum propeller that gives that forward propulsion. Let's give you guys a shot of the construction of the bottom of this boat, catamaran style. Very smooth finish. Efficient hydrodynamics, if you will. So let's flip it back over and dive into what comes out of the box with this almost ready to run offering from NitroRCX.com. These aluminum hatch tabs, just a press of the button and a quarter turn locks it, press of the button, quarter turn, unlocks it. You do that on both sides, lift up the hatch, and you're greeted with all the electronics inside. Comes with a 26cc gas motor. Notice the tuned pipe down here. I'll turn it around and give you a better shot of it later. You have a sealed electronics box. You have 2 steering servos, a high-speed steering servo for the throttle, and you also have a high-torque steering servo for the rudder. We mentioned earlier that the rudder has those large water pickups, and those 2 lines actually lead right here, and one of them cools the exhaust header, the manifold, and the other line cools the motor head, the head of the motor. That's to keep this engine nice and cool. And then that water exits from the port side of the hull, as we mentioned earlier, through that aluminum hole. This is a pull start system. It's right here. Basically pull that pull starter to start that engine up. Notice the fuel tank is sitting right in the center for perfect balance. And it's also supported by balsa wood structure. Notice the balsa wood structure throughout the center of the hull, housing your electronic box, your motor, and your fuel tank. If we take a closer look at these aluminum with rubber bushing mounted motor mounts, this keeps the vibration away from the chassis and the boat so that you have smooth operation. Let's take a look at how the motor is giving power to that drive shaft. Looks like this one is a direct power. There is no clutch to worry about. Your flexible drive shaft, or propeller shaft, I'm sorry. Your flexible propeller shaft bolts straight to the engine output. No flywheel, no clutch. You get direct power. So we're looking at the starboard side of the boat now. Notice there is also a water cooling exit right here. One on each side, port side and starboard side. Let's take a look at the carburetor. Notice that Venturi type of intake. You have the water bubble so you can prime fuel into the carburetor. Your choke is down here. And then you have your idle screw down here. Notice you have a red button here so that you can turn the motor off when the hatch is on. We have a better shot of that tuned pipe coming out of the manifold, and notice the cooling system also runs through the manifold and also through the middle of the muffler. Keeping the exhaust cool is crucial to making this motor perform. More onto this nifty receiver box. Notice it is sealed. You can seal it with a flathead screwdriver. These nifty screws also have knurled ends so that you can undo them and screw them with your thumb. This electronics box also houses your receiver and your receiver battery to power these electronics. And this nifty rod here allows you to hit that on-off switch without having to remove all these screws that seal and protect the electronics. Installing the hatch is easy. There's 2 pins that go into these holes. Make sure you get those in first. Set the back down, push your quick releases in, give them a quarter turn, and it's locked. Before we let you go, I'm going to show you guys some of the tools that come in the box. You have this kind of a T-wrench. Up here is for the spark plug. You have a Phillips head so you can tune the adjustments on the carb, and another nut so you can undo the rudder parts and others. Seat also supplies you with the necessary Allen wrenches to adjust the rudder and other parts on this boat. Balsa wood stand is also included. You build that out of the same balsa wood that gives it structural rigidity. If catamarans aren't your style, Exceed RC also offers some hydro boats and some other V-shaped deep hull offshore racing boats. Be sure to check those out at nitrorcx.com. If you feel like we left something out or you have some questions or concerns, be sure to leave them below. Definitely check out the boats, the cars, the trucks, and all the other awesome items at nitrorcx.com. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
nitrorcx.com. Extreme has no limits.